Non-aggression principle is enshrined in the Sikh religion. This is similar to the non-aggression principle in libertarian philosophy of the West. Non-aggression is one of the fundamental principles for both these philosophies. Sikhs have been and continue to be at the receiving end of aggression and coercion, that is, use of force or threat. They do not subject others to it. Guru Nanak's way is of non-aggression and non-coercion. It is a way to uplift, enlighten, and transform with love. Sikhs have been relentlessly persecuted throughout their history. Several Sikh gurus were tortured to death, their families killed, and their followers burnt alive and literally sawn in half. Sikhs have gone to wars to defend their values from ruling powers and foreign invaders. Sikhs were hunted at sight, and a price put on their head throughout their history. More than half of the entire Sikh population was slaughtered in one day on 5 February 1762, simply for being Sikhs and for their values. It is remembered as the Vada Galugara, the Big Genocide. A similar genocide happened more recently from 1984-1998, known as the Third Galugara, the third sustained Sikh genocide. The two Sikh empires were known for human rights for all. There was no ideological or religious persecution. The two Sikh empires established political model for making decisions at a congregation. Decisions were made, and 5 men were chosen. It was a form of direct democracy. Those chosen were empowered for a particular task rather than given unlimited powers for a specific period without right to recall. This reduced concentration of power. Contrast this with voting today, where people vote for a person based on his personality, who then goes on to tyrannize the public for next 4 to 5 years with no right to recall in an elected autocracy in most so-called democracies. The two Sikh empires respected property rights. No person's property was confiscated by the state for the greater good, as is fashionable today with eviction moratoriums, squatter rights, and state-approved looting. Sikh kingdoms had small government as it was not a welfare state. Government did not have to confiscate from people to sustain the small government. Watchdog for good governance were the Khalsa, Sant soldiers. They were men of virtue, selected on merit, trained in governance, benevolent, knowledgeable, armed, external to the government, and not answerable to it. They were always ready to check the rogue state. To summarize, aggression, coercion, property confiscation, serious crime, and imprisonment was unheard of in the two Sikh kingdoms. This is due to Sikhs' painful memory and history of persecution, direct democracy with right to recall, small government, and the Khalsa as virtuous watchdogs external to the government. Contrast this with selective upholding of freedom of speech, trigger words, cancel culture, no property rights, squatter rights, lawlessness, diminishing human rights, travel bans, and financial repression in most modern democratic nations. How ironic that Sikh kingdoms of 1700s were more modern than most modern European nations today. Technological development, financial engineering, and extraction of resources can give an aura of modernity, but the nation-state can be primitive in its governance with extractive fossilized institutions, blaring propaganda of welfare state and carrying government to a zombified, traumatized public. Non-aggression principle is one of the core principles of libertarian philosophy. It is also enshrined in the Sikh religion and was practiced by both Sikh kingdoms.